1 second, folks. I do not have an edit button. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilly Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. So overall, folks, this was a good day, in spite of the bittersweetness of having hatred shown towards my autistic community. I mean, after all, it's a day that ends in Y, right? There are times where the hate gets to me. Towards people with ADHD, autism, any disability, it just guts me. And I find myself sitting there and just thinking, why? And it hurts, folks. It does hurt. I hurt for all of us. But it's also important to celebrate the wins, celebrity or non-celebrity. And today was about celebrating a win. No matter how the press tries to paint it or tries to vilify him, this was a win for Deb. I've always believed a win for one of us is a win for all of us, especially since the disability community as a whole gets so few of them. So overall, I'm happy, even if it's tinged with the bitterness of the hatred that was thrown at us. So I'm going to take the win as it is. I've already posted a pic on Twitter, but I did get sugar cookies for the occasion, and I've already ate some. I regret nothing. What can I say, folks? I'm internally 5. When I feel a need to celebrate anything, I will go ahead and order from a bakery to have my favorite sugar cookies with icing and sprinkles delivered because I'm internally 5. And I'm going to celebrate this win, and I'm going to enjoy the win. Because Deb deserves it. Because all the supporters deserve it. Survivors, male and female alike, do. And the disability community does. I get deep joy out of watching my own get celebrated like that. Now, to the disclaimers, shall we? Before I get all emotional. Sit down. In the description box, folks, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit created by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually has, to see through with their threat. Also included in there, the Ozark's first article in regards to the Agape boarding school / now known as Stone for Help boarding school situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called trouble mill teens that has impending, folks, over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation. Folks, that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises with full access of the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You got an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job. And you've got a governor here that not even an intervention can help. So please, folks, send help. Please share that article on all your social media. Of course, we have all the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masemba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of, sorry, folks, allergies. People with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please use the headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised, all right? All right, trigger warning. Square your shoulders, folks, because once more we are about to descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience and lies, abuse and torture apologencia, all coming from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So as always, folks, prepare yourselves for the stupid, all right? So where we left off, and I'm sorry, folks, I'm having a little bit of sensory issues today. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. I don't recommend. It is during this initial restrictive placement at JRC that the frequency of behaviors is documented for the purposes of obtaining a substitute judgment for the use of level 3 procedures, which is true, folks. No matter what Dr. Matthew Israel tells you, it's true. We have corroboration from Jennifer Masemba and New York on that, but you know how he demonizes New York. It is a requirement of behavioral clinical practice to record a baseline frequency of problematic behaviors as part of designing an effective behavioral program. No, it isn't, Karen. This is your whole problem, JRC. All you focus on. All you care about is the behaviors. You don't care where they're coming from. You don't care to do your actual homework and job and deal with the triggering issues and provide a reasonable, logical, humane solution from there. All you focus on is the negative. You focus on the behaviors, and there's a real problem with that, folks. That problem is you're dealing with the offshoots of the problem, not the problem itself. Why that is bad should be completely and utterly self-explainable. If all you do is treat the symptoms, what do you think is going to happen? Eventually, they're going to come back because what's causing the issue was never dealt with. So, with you only focusing on the negative, with you only focusing on recording behaviors, without even on a baseline observational level, noting even the small little ticks that is leading into the behavior beforehand, you are not addressing the elephant in the room. That's the problem, doctor. That's what you can't seem to understand. Simply addressing the behaviors is not dealing with the problem. The problem, when left undealt with, is going to continue afterwards to produce the same behaviors. You compound PTSD for being tortured or abused due to that, it's going to make the original issue far worse than it had been previously. Please, guys, if you trust me on nothing else, trust me on that one. Because I speak from lived experience as well as professional. Okay? Moving on. All good behavioral programs do this, starting with the date of admissions, including JRC. It would be rightly criticized if they did not. Let's see here. JSR also receives treatment records from the students' placements prior to JRC, and those records are always replete with countless acts of violent and dangerous behaviors. Again, doctor. Saying countless people do it wrong doesn't make it right. When we say the whole of ABA is the problem, this is why. Well, one of the many reasons why. Because the only thing that you're doing is focusing on the behaviors. It shouldn't take a rocket science to explain to you why that's a problem. Because you're not addressing the root of it all. And if you do not address the root, those problems, no matter how bad you punish or torture or demean or belittle us, it's not going to go away. Because you're not addressing the root from where the behaviors are coming from. Why is this such a hard concept for you folks who've gone literally to school to work in this field to understand? Doctor, I don't care if that's what everyone else in ABA does, because you know what? ABA is also wrong. You can't just try to program behaviors out of us without dealing with the why. As long as you continue to not address why, those behaviors, no matter what you do or how good we become at acting and becoming our masks, is gonna still be there. And with trauma, it's only going to compound the issue and make it worse when it does eventually, and it will, given time, come to a head. JRC uses the baseline data prior to treatment records, its own observations of the student, and additional information to design, first of all, a positive-only treatment plan that meets individual needs of the student. No, you don't, doctor. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's based off of a bastardized, insane version of ABA. Your very foundation you work for is wrong. That's what we're trying to tell you. The whole premise is wrong, and that's why it's not actually truly successful. There is no one size fits all in medical treatment. Because even amongst those of us who carry the same diagnosis, we are as different from one another as night and day, which you would know if you spent more than 10 seconds in our company. Your positive-only treatment is a joke. It's Pavlov. It's removal of affection, which guess what, doctor? That's still an adversive, and that's not positive only. What Dr. Israel thinks is positive only is not torturing us. It is not behavioral, it's not positive behavioral reinforcement. It is not person-centered planning. It is literally none of the other thousands of programs that have come to fruition over the last 2 to 3 decades. Literally, his idea of positive only is traditional ABA. And then he acts all high and mighty because it didn't work, so we have to do this. No, doctor. You're still operating off of a false premise. That's why it fails. There is no instant quick fix. There is not a pill or a torture treatment or an ABA forcing me to mask that is going to take away all the behaviors and everything that makes me autistic. It's never going to happen because it's not a behavioral disorder. It's neurological. This is how my brain works. And it is different from yours. And God damn it, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No matter what they tell you, folks, there is nothing wrong with that. You see where I'm getting at, don't you, folks? All right, let's finish this paragraph up. In those cases where JRC's positive-only procedures prove insufficiently effective when used by themselves, there is always a significant incontrovertible evidence for the need to add supplemental aversives to the student's program. No, it doesn't, doctor. You can't torture the disability out of us. Do you not see how insane this is? The idea is not to, obviously traditional ABA didn't work, so let's double down and add torture to it. It doesn't make sense. When something is not working, you should try something else. And when I say try something else, I don't mean putting a person on a torture device, starving them, and sleep depriving them. I mean, take that logical step. Delve deeper. For God's sake, work and talk to us so that you can get to the core of the issue from where these behaviors stem. It's not easy. It's not a quick fix. Unlike fear, it's not going to produce immediate results, but what it does produce is the most long-lasting results, the most positive results. And we're going to go ahead and close on that. Folks, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And folks, as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.